Welcome to Die Hard. Very, very happy to be here. Another episode. The podcast is public. People are subscribing. People are messaging. People are hating. People are loving. It's been a great, this has been great. I'm so excited I'm doing this. The response to last week's episode, which I'll admit and apologize, was a little heavy, a little serious, but that's how these are going to go. You know, some episodes might be light, and some episodes you might go, he talked about wrestling too much. Some episode you might go, this is all baseball. He just fucking talked about baseball the whole time. And then sometimes it'll be like, that was a fun, silly one. Maybe once we'll have guests. I don't know, but this is supposed to just be you kicking it with me. You're in my life. Whatever the hell I'm going through is how the episodes are going to go. And when you lose a political figure that you loved and your father in the same week, sometimes things get heavy. Sometimes things get serious. So I'll apologize again and thank you guys for your grace with bearing with me and all that thing. There's a great quote. Don't dismiss the heart, even if it's filled with sorrow. God's treasures are buried in broken hearts. So while I might have been annoying, and while I might have been crashing out, and while I might have been getting a little aggro, or my tone was a little aggressive or depressed or whatever it was, there's little gems in there. You know, I think that there was some gems in there, and my heart was going out, and I shared that with you guys. So anyways, thank you. And to all the responses I got about the week were really cool too. It's good to see both. A lot of people defending Jimmy Kimmel in the things I was saying. A lot of people going, I didn't really know much about Charlie Kirk, and once I looked into it, like he's awesome. Some people even saying never cared about Charlie Kirk, but what you said is true. Like, how about some human decency, Yeah. And which was my whole kind of thing, by the way, about the Jimmy Kimmel firing, was that like, I just didn't like the timing of him making a Charlie Kirk reference. I didn't really appreciate that. Before we get into all that, thank you for being here. Subscribe, rate, review, comment. We love engagement. And then also share with somebody. Now that this is public, share it to anybody you know. Say, hey, this is a guy I like. Maybe you might like it also. Or send it to your friends who you think might hate it. Be like, hey, you're a feminist. You're a feminist lesbian. Have you checked out Jeff Dye? And they'll be like, I'll check it out. Who's this? And then they'll listen to it and go, what did you send me? Also, this in the producer's chair this week with me is the great Ari Azizian. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're the fucking man.
God bless you.
When are we gonna get an Ari Azizian podcast?
Tonight.
No, I mean your own.
Oh,
Just
man.
you.
Live from my mom's attic.
I don't want to share too much because this isn't behind a paywall anymore, but Ari, he is a Sam Hyde kind of little groiper boy himself. You know?
What?
Yeah, what are they called?
I don't know.
Groipers? What are those called?
I don't know anything about
You don't know
what you're
anybody of
talking
these
about.
guys? I feel like you're like a conglomeration of all my favorite things. You're a combination, just a wild child, funny comedian. You're like when Aaron Marsh was heel Marsh, you guys would
man.
have gotten along so well.
We did get along so well.
Yeah, I know, but especially now.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Aaron Michael Marsh.
He's still alive.
We'll miss you.
He's
Well,
still
no,
around.
that's a different guy. He's a different guy now.
We miss him.
Let's get back to this, the Jimmy Kimmel thing, because here's the thing. I went on Piers Morgan. I was on Gutfeld talking about Kimmel. I talked about Kimmel and all these things. And when it comes to free speech, I don't want to look like a hypocrite. Like, of course, I think we should have free speech. And I would defend anybody to say the things because we're comedians. We say stuff. And we're in these circles where, let me try and find a quote for you from my friend Nick Simmons. Name drop. My boy Nick Simmons. He's Gene Simmons' son. He's a very cool guy, very tall, lanky guy who's awesome. And I just recently learned that he's a big fan of stand-up comedy. And so since he's aware of stand-up comedy so much and he likes all the gossip in the circles and like he's just really plugged into like our world, he's very aware of me and likes what I do and stuff. And so when I saw him, I said, what is it about comedy you like so much? Because he's not a stand-up comedian. I said, what is it that you like about it? And he was going on this like kind of tirade about like, about he loves that what we get to do in there, which is, I'm bringing it up because it's a free speech thing. He loves that that's the idea of a comedy club. And I asked him, hey, remember when you were talking to me at the mothership in Mitzi's about what you like about stand-up. I don't want to try to remember that or paraphrase it. Can you send me what you said? So I'm going to read an exact quote from Nick Simmons. He goes, when you go to a stand-up comedy show, there's an implicit agreement that in the room you get to play with ideas. And it doesn't matter whether you sincerely believe them or not. In other rooms, you suffer consequences based on the merit or ethics of what you say out loud. But in comedy clubs, at least ideally, we've agreed it's for the sake of play. So we're free to try on ideas like we try on clothing at a store, even if the outfit is so wild that we never actually buy it and bring it home. We can still play with it.
Wow.
And that's what we're supposed to be doing with ideas.
That should be stamped on the back of every ticket at a comedy club.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And so well written. It's like, I'd like to have, I'm everyone loves to shit on Alex Jones and and I'm just taking the contrarian take where I'm going to say, maybe the frogs are gay. I don't know. Have we ever thought for a second, maybe he's right?
Yeah.
Maybe these frogs are out there butt fucking. I don't know. And I don't really believe that. I don't really care to defend Alex Jones. But I'm looking for just a playful take on these things. Where I have a whole bit about how maybe Karens, maybe we're going to be on the wrong side of history with all these Karens. Maybe they're right, You're always just playing. And I think maybe I'm just getting a little too carried away with the Charlie Kirk scenario, but in the last, I don't know how long, in certain places, you are in trouble for your ideas, and you can get in trouble for playing with some ideas. There are men who believe they were born in the wrong body, walking around in dresses. Now, whether that is true or untrue, it's hilarious. That's funny. A guy just with a mop on his head going, where's the beef? We gotta, it's like, even if it's the greatest evolution of humankind and these are our brothers and sisters and they need us to defend, we gotta make some jokes. That's hilarious. There's a guy walking his boyfriend wearing a dog mask. Like, that's, these things are funny, and I don't think it's wrong to play with these ideas. Let's play with these ideas. I'm letting people get away with all sorts of jokes that I don't morally or ethically agree with. Sarah Silverman's got a joke where she's like talking about Jesus. Like, she's like, I'd kill him again. I would kill Jesus again. I'd hear him come with his little flip-flops. It's very, that goes against my grandmother would hang herself if she heard that joke. It's so blasphemous and egregious. But guess what? We're comedians. And you're in a comedy club, and we are here to play.
Right.
And we're here to play with ideas. You don't get to clutch your pearls and freak out. Now, where it gets blurry is, do podcasts count as comedy? Do late night monologues count as comedy? When is he making a statement or a joke or what? Like, there's this great debate now of like, well, where is the joke? Do TikTokers count? Should the president be funny? Because guess what? I think Donald Trump's really, really funny.
Yeah, he is.
But do you want your president to be funny?
Not really.
I'm conflicted on that. I don't think I really want him to be funny. So I can go, well, he was making a joke, but I don't think that argument is as strong. When I say I was making a joke, I'm at a comedy club. I think maybe the president shouldn't be hilarious. I think we got a problem here. So all this
funnier than
being
some
said,
comedians.
dude, he's great. He's very, very funny, but I think it causes a lot of trouble. So the thing with the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, that the only point I was trying to make, and everybody wants to go, well, it's because the FCC, that's what makes it different, and this is the government, and all these different things. All I wanted to say about the whole issue on every public platform was, I'm just going to speak about it from a dignity place. Like, let's just talk about it from like being a class act. Maybe wait till the guy's buried before you make a wisecrack. That's all I'm going to say. And guess what? It's his protected right. It's his First Amendment right. Maybe you can find, or not maybe, you can find me to be a hypocrite about this, because if other things happen, I go, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. But I do think it's tragedy plus time equals comedy. And I was just commenting on the time part. I've already heard multiple Charlie Kirk jokes that I giggled at and laughed at. I'm a comedian. I'll let all my brothers and sisters in comedy joke about whatever the hell they want, and I got your back. I was just saying that maybe Jimmy Kimmel even referencing the Charlie Kirk thing was a little soon. And let me ask you this, and I'm genuinely asking. Do you think any late night host would have had the balls to do a joke in his opening monologue about George Floyd that week?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think. I think while the nation and then eventually the globe was enraged about George Floyd and the social and political situations surrounding it, true or untrue, nobody would have definitely wouldn't have kept their job if they went on a late night talk show and made a wisecrack about George Floyd. Like, and I know some people might hear that and go, "Well, the joke was about Donald Trump," but it was at the expense of the of Charlie Kirk. So yes, it was a dig on President Trump, but it was about Charlie Kirk. It was in the subject of Charlie Kirk, and I don't think that you would have gotten away with that if it was George Floyd. And I was just saying, like, even I waited a week to send a meme about George Floyd or something. Maybe wait a month, maybe wait a year. I don't know what the timing is on these things, but maybe not the week of, because tensions are high. People saw a sad thing, or people knew the guy, or he had a family. There's a lot of like situations. So I thought I was just commenting on the timing. Like it's like I just thought that was a little icky, and I imagined he would get in trouble, as I imagined anyone would get in trouble. It doesn't matter. Jimmy Kimmel has got his job back. He was canceled for 4 days or whatever. Which is also good. Good. Get him his job back. I don't really care about any of this stuff.
It'll be funny to watch him get fired a second
I
time.
know. Yeah. Ratings go right back to
It goes right back to zero. That's what I couldn't figure out. I was like, well, I know half the country probably doesn't watch Jimmy Kimmel, and then
Sorry.
I was like, I don't think any liberals are staying up and watching it, really.
Yeah.
Like, who's sitting up at 11:30 at night watching TV?
I'm not really sure how many fans he has.
I'm watching reels of horses running into
know.
convenience stores. Why would I watch
TV's
television?
dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if it wouldn't have been such a big headline, I'd have been like, I don't know.
Totally.
I didn't know that he got fired, or like it wouldn't have really. No one watches that stuff.
It was like a fake outrage kind of a thing. I feel like.
But anyways, I mean, here's the thing. I'm so indifferent about those things. So like when I was on Piers Morgan, it's almost like I could sense them rolling their eyes. Thanks, brother. I could almost sense everyone rolling their eyes about like, why isn't Jeff arguing? Why isn't Jeff mad at the libs? Why isn't Jeff mad at the Democrats? Isn't he gonna say Jimmy Kimmel's a piece of shit? I was like, no, I was just talking about it from like a kind of a moral place. Like I just kind of wish he wouldn't have felt the need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's his right to do it, and maybe it's wrong to fire him. Maybe it's right to make him apologize or punish him or what. So I'm kind of indifferent about all those parts of it. I didn't rush to defend Roseanne when she got fired. I didn't rush to defend Tucker Carlson or Hulk Hogan or Gina Carano or Sage Steele. I didn't really rush to defend anyone from getting canceled. So I'm definitely not going to rush to Jimmy Kimmel's aid as he made a wisecrack about Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump. But I'd like to put this out there. There seems to be some misunderstanding about my political stances or my comedy or my ethics. And maybe I'm at fault. Maybe I've had the wrong tone in my act. Maybe I'm coming off too aggressive. I'm sorry if that's the case. I don't care about Donald Trump. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Did I vote for him? Yes. Because I thought he was better than the person who was saying everything white people does is white supremacy and white privilege is bad and that our country is terrible and we need to tear down the system and make it socialist, and she's literally holding hands with people who are proclaimed Marxists. Like, I was very afraid by that half of our country and that half of the political party. So yes, I voted for Donald Trump. But me voting for Donald Trump doesn't mean every time he talks, I defend him. Or every time he does a thing that he very often embarrasses me. I wish there might have been some other people we could have voted for sure. I do not pray to Donald Trump. I do not defend his every move. I like that he likes America, or at least pretends to. I like that he is, he doesn't make me say that I should bow down and kiss black people's feet in the streets because of George Floyd. I'm pretty happy that he doesn't think I should feel guilty about history I didn't do. But I'm not like his disciple. I don't go, in Trump we trust. I just like him. Now, that being said, my faith is in Jesus Christ. That's who I pray to. I will defend anything Jesus said. I will defend anything in my religion. And I'm happy to talk about it. But that part of my religion is love everyone. That's my religion. I love everybody. So it's very weird that everyone just assumes I'm some alt-right Trump-loving guy. I'm not. I'm a Jesus guy. That's what I am. And if you've ever, like, after a show, when I get off stage, you can see the people I'm around. I'm friends with a heavy-set Mexican gay guy and a woman wearing a hijab who's the most liberal person I've ever met. Best friend / little brother, some Persian cowboy. Like this idea that I'm some right-wing nut job who has no interest in the world that is not conservative cowboys. Like,
You do have the most diverse group of friends in every photo.
well, I love everyone.
Yeah.
I don't get what's going on.
Triplet Italians just hanging around.
Yeah. Also, I'm only guilty of really being a sexist. That's what I'm guilty of. And even that, I'm pretty nice about. I'm pretty nice about it. And it's always by their definition of what sexism is. Because here's my real take, and I've said this so many times that I bet Mike, my real producer's out there rolling his eyes, because I've said this so many times. Racism is bad, but it's hilarious. Sexism is bad, but it's funny. Transphobia is bad, but it's hilarious. It's such a hard line to walk. These things are so funny that, like, I don't want to be those things. I just love playing with those things, and it's funny to be naughty, and it's funny to say all those things. So that's all that is. Little misunderstanding happened this morning with my friend Shoshana. She's great, and I'm sorry that I hurt her feelings. And maybe again my tone just didn't match my words or my heart. But she was saying that she was and I'm probably going to misrepresent what she said, but she was alluding to the fact that Jimmy Kimmel made jokes on the monologue about how vaccinated people can die because they chose not to get vaccinated. She found that to be so insensitive that she was like a little disappointed that Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel are like friends and hang out. Like, who would be friends with a person who would say something that dramatic? And I immediately read, like a bell went off in my head of like, that's the problem. What you're saying is the exact problem, in my opinion. I love that Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel are friends. I love that. That is the ideal. That Jimmy Kimmel, who genuinely believes in his heart that anyone who isn't vaccinated is like a bad person, or not a bad person, but has done this bad thing, and he doesn't like Republicans or conservatives, and he believes all the things that like a stereotypical kind of leftist would believe. And Adam Carolla is the biggest, like he believes all the things that a stereotypical right-leaning person would believe. These are two stereotypes of the right and left that we criticize, and they can actually have a hot dog and a hamburger at a barbecue, and they'll go see movies together, and their friends or families are friends, and we don't even know if that's true.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. It makes me happy that is happening, and I pray it's true.
Yeah.
Because guess what, dude? You don't need me to approve of your sexual bedroom activities. We can still be friends. We're going to share the same coffee shop. We're going to share the same, traffic. We're in these communities together, and we should have the best interest of just getting along and loving each other. And you don't need to know what I'm into. You don't, like, none of that. Like, people go, oh, he's anti-gay. I go, what do you even mean by that? Do you mean he isn't gay? Or do you mean that he, like, rolls his eyes when two dudes kiss? Or does it mean that he thinks you're gross because you butt hump? Like, whatever it is, that doesn't mean he wants you dead. Why does it make that tremendous leap to, like, you must want me dead? It's like, no. I guess, like, I mean, pretty much everyone 100 years ago felt the same. Like, they would all probably be like, whatever. But that doesn't mean they were anti-gay. No, but what does it mean to be anti-gay? I don't even know what that means.
Well, it's like you would want to. I think if I had something that made me different, I'd want to be, if I was an audience member at a comedy club, I'd want to be included on a joke and made fun of at some point.
Yeah.
But then for whatever reason, when you include them on a joke and you make a joke about them,
only certain groups, though.
They think that that's going to get them killed.
I know, which is such a tremendous leap.
But then, what is the solution? To not include them at all in society, or like in the conversation? I don't know.
idea. Well, that's why I'm struggling with it. Is like, Nishat, my Muslim friend, she can literally in her heart go, Jeff doesn't agree with what my faith is, but I can still see that he's a nice man and he's not going to be mean to me and I don't have to feel scared around him.
And you guys have a great joke together.
We have a bit that I wrote because of her.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my point is when I see a transgender person at the Comedy Store every single night, I'm pleasant, and I want to.
As you should be. Yeah.
They should. I hope that they don't fear me. They've got nothing to be afraid of.
Right.
And also, you're part of the community. You're a human being. I love you. And like, you don't need me to agree with you about all the things because there's zero chance you agree with my religion.
Right.
There's zero chance. So like, I'm getting carried away here, just making the same point over and over again. But the point is, like, I pray that Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla are just boys and they can like feel like however they feel about their lives and the way they operate while still maintaining That's why I love when you see those videos of like George W. Bush. He's like sliding Michelle Obama candy and like she's like laughing. He made a stupid little joke and then that made her laugh. Like, and people go, look at this. They're probably all billionaires behind the scenes having fun together. It's like, no, these are grown adults who have opinions. But then when it comes to life, you go, I'm not going to change their mind on this like overnight. Like, we can still be humans to each other. You don't have to cut your hair off and bleach the rest of your scalp blue and pierce your nose and only hang out with other people who did the exact same thing. We're all on the same team here. You don't have to wear a Carhartt and a Trump hat and try to annoy every person who doesn't dress like that. We're getting far too tribal. It's insane to me. It's weird.
It is weird. Very
strange. Sports. Been a big week. We'll keep this brief because I don't think you guys come here for sports talk, but the Seattle Mariners are in the playoffs. Get a load of this. Supposed to do Yamashiro on Tuesday. I did. But Adam Ray was supposed to be on that show. I get there, they say Adam Ray's gone. So what happened? They say, he flew up to Seattle to be at the Mariners game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was immediately jealous. I was like, ooh, what a genius. I could have canceled Yamashiro too. I could have went up there. So I, watching the game on my phone, and in the clubhouse when they're celebrating, Adam Ray's in the clubhouse.
No, that's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, I was like, what? This guy rules, living the dream.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Ray. I even texted him. I said, love seeing you in there. That made me so happy, bub. And then I was like, Mariners win. I spent the thing. No reply. He replied nothing. He didn't reply to me at all.
What did Dr. Phil say?
Yeah, exactly. Should have texted Dr. Phil. Yeah. So again, I'm guessing he's busy or something. But anyways, I was so happy to see him there, and that's how it should be. And then the Seahawks won, and then the Huskies won. Like, what a weekend. What a weekend of life. I was going to comment on this, but I want to make sure I got his name correct. Very funny comedian the other night. Bill Burr produced his last special.
Brenton Biddlecombe?
Brenton Biddlecombe.
It's a good name.
Yeah. He's kind of like Drew Lynch, except if he never had the stutter. Yeah, they kind of look alike.
Yeah, same height-ish. Yeah.
Well, they just look similar.
Yeah.
Which no disrespect to either of them. I love both those boys. So Brenton, the reason I'm bringing this up, and I hope he doesn't take this as slander because I love him. He had a bit where he was like, all these people were mad because they changed Little Mermaid to a black girl, right? He does this whole bit making fun of how dumb people must be to care about Little Mermaid being black. Well, I disagree with the premise. I don't know that people were that upset about it. But if he did really witness people holding signs and people upset that the Little Mermaid was black, because I'm sure there are people in the world who posted about it or cared that Little Mermaid was black. If that's true, those people are stupid. If he's I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he saw people with signs in front of Warner Brothers that were like, you can't change the Little Mermaid to being black. Now, that's me giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think more likely, hardly anyone cared about that. But then also another layer to that is Most people, like myself, when we complain about something like that, because I am the type of guy that would complain that they made Little Mermaid black, I'm only complaining because it's a change. You made a change of something you didn't need to change. So, for example, if you made Shaft a white guy,
That would be ridiculous.
it'd be ridiculous. When you make Jesus black in like a movie instead of a Middle Eastern guy, or similar to when they make Jesus a white guy when he's a Middle Eastern guy, it's insane. Or when you make, they had like Blackula, remember the black vampire?
Yep.
So like when you just change a thing, people are gonna notice, and people like or dislike things when it's in the arts. That's
Lady
kind of,
Ghostbusters.
yes. What are we doing? Why change that unless it's some sort of statement? So I think the people saw them changing Little Mermaid into a black girl as some sort of statement. Also, why change things from the past? Just make new things. Make things new. Don't try to change the things we already had. You don't need Harry Potter to be a little Vietnamese girl. Like, it's just make it Harry.
That would be cool, though.
It's Harry Potter. So I think most of the people, if they were bitching, if that's even a real thing, they're probably just more annoyed that there was a change. And if there is a change, why? And if the change feels like their why is a statement, that annoys people. Making some sort of political change. Oh, now the lead is gay, and you're like, but why did you feel the need to change that? So that, I think that it's a bigger conversation and not just some sort of simplistic, those must be racist to care about the, because don't get me wrong, she looked better, she looked hot. This black girl they chose was a smoke show. Probably too young for me to be saying that publicly, but like she was like just this beautiful young actress who looked great. This idea that racism is looming over every corner, and the KKK is everywhere, and white supremacists just hate anything that isn't white, is so dumb. There might be more to it. They might go, oh, I just don't like that they changed it for some fucking reason. I've watched Little Mermaid my whole life. I don't understand why they're changing things that I knew. So then the next part of his bit, as he says, also, why are you so defensive of it? He was saying like, but they didn't seem to care about the part. Man, I'm going to fuck it up. I wish I could find it. But the premise is like, he's saying Little Mermaid is a movie about a girl who changes her whole lower body to fit in with society, which is basically like a transgender person trying to change your entire human outside to match your inside. And he got like a big pop and everyone laughed. But I was like, no, you just proved the point that Disney is trying to make our kids trans, because that movie is old. That movie's like 30 years old, and that's a great example of them grooming your kids. Is that like how could he be so close? He was so close. And he wrote the bit, he told the bit, it's on a special, he didn't come to the conclusion that's grooming. Is to go to basically be able to point something out like that is the red herring, like that, like that's the
Disney's been grooming for
right
a century.
In that exact movie, and I'm gonna have Mike put graphics here for this. In that exact movie, on the cover backs, the animators hid penises.
They barely hid it.
Cover is a big cock in the middle of the gold castle on the Little Mermaid like shell cover. Later in the movie, the priest, when the hot woman that Ursula turns into,
he has a boner.
He gets a boner and coughs.
I forgot about
Why
that.
is that in there? I mean, there's just so many things in these Disney movies that the animators hid that are not only naughty, but they're somewhat subliminal, and they're also definitely not appropriate for children. They're grooming your kids. Some of them chanted at not my show, but like out in Seattle in that psycho chop zone in Capitol Hill. We're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children. So some of them are even saying it.
Yikes.
And I don't think nothing's all. I'm not saying all trans people are all gays or whatever, or the community or LGBT or I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Disney seems to have an overwhelming pattern of these kind of things, which then might make dumb people go, they're coming for my kids and they're grooming my kids. So it's not that big of a leap.
Well, Pinocchio, they steal their kids and they take them to like the Naughty Boy Island, like the Jeffrey Epstein Island.
I don't know about this.
Oh yeah, Pinocchio, he gets like tempted to go to some island, to Pleasure Island,
I don't know nothing
and then he
about
turns into a donkey. I mean,
know.
Disney's been doing this for like 80 years.
Well, Pinocchio wasn't written by Disney.
No, none of these stories are.
Yeah, well, but I think
Little Mermaid's Hans Christian something.
Oh, it
it's
is?
like
I didn't
some
know that.
Danish story. Pinocchio's Italian. A lot of them are German.
Yeah, no, a lot of the old Disney
Snow White, I believe, is German
because they're like great literature and it's like an allegory for life.
He bought all the great stories.
Yeah.
Anyways, I sidetracked you.
No, that's not sidetracked. I think it was pretty much over with the bit. But like, I'm just saying, like, he was so close to coming to the conclusion of being like red pilled, and he didn't even see it. It was right in front of his eyes. I'm like, bro, it's right there.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. You did make me think of something different that I was going to talk about. Like what I really love about comedy. Like if you ever hang out with me, like or hang out with us or any of our friends, like we're so obsessed with comedy, and I always wonder like what that is. And I don't try to be one of these people that I'm like, oh, comics are the real philosophers now, or comics. I try not to be that because it sounds like you're bragging like too much about like we're the real smart ones, or whatever. But I do think that we live in a world where we can explain things to people in a different way where they will hear it. So when I was at a Trump rally before the election, there was no undecided voters. Nobody was wandering into the Trump rally going, I still don't know if I like him or not. Like maybe Kamala. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm going to assume I wasn't at any of the Kamala like things. I wasn't at any of the left wing kind of like political gatherings. I'm going to assume none of them were still considering Trump. I think that's a safe assumption. Now, that being said, when someone walks into a comedy club, they're there for the idea of play. They're there for the conversation. They're there for these things. So we're in a unique position to give them jokes that they're actually going to listen to. Like they'll listen to our ideas if it's funny. If someone goes, Jeff, I know like leans conservative and all these comics think he's a right-wing Nazi, like they're still going to listen to my jokes because if it's funny, they'll go, he was funny. And same with like I listen to so many liberal comedians that I think are hilarious. And I hear their jokes and position and ideas because it's camouflaged as comedy. And so we might be in one of the uniquest positions in modern times to change someone's position on something or bring someone over to an aisle or a religion or whatever we're trying to do using jokes. And I was explaining to Bowers, who's never been in the same building as a Bible. I was explaining to because I was going, yeah, man, that's what makes us cool is that like, you know, in the Bible, at least in the New Testament, Jesus would tell people to love each other and they were too stupid. They just, the people were just like now. They just go, well, I don't understand. And so because humans are such chimps, Jesus would go, all right, what do you do? And he'd be like, I'm a shepherd. And he'd go, okay, you know when you have a lamb? Like he would have to give them a metaphor or an allegory or something like that. And I love that that's what comics do. Yeah. So it's like I can't just go out here and go, here's all the things I believe. I come up with this cleverly worded story or lie or a scenario where they follow you down this thing into a punchline that is a statement or a piece or an opinion or a naughty thing or whatever. And I really love that about comedy. I think that's a really, really fun Jesus-like way to get to speak to people. And, it just reminded me of that. Where am I going to be this week? I'm trying to think. When's this come out, Mike? Next week?
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday.
You got it. I'm going to be all over the place. I would love it if you guys would come kick it with me in one of these towns. This for New Year's. If you don't have New Year's plans, come to Las Vegas. I will be at Wise Guys Comedy Club in Las Vegas. So if you live in Las Vegas and you want to come to a comedy show, you don't got anything planned.
You want me to read some of your dates?
No, I got them right here now. You just reminded me to bring it up. October 1st. Want to see me in Los Angeles? I'll be at the Upstairs, which is in downtown LA. Ari will be on that show.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
October 1st, the Upstairs. Get tickets for that. Then the next week, October 10th through 11th, which is 2 days, I'm in Rumors Comedy Club, which is in Winnipeg. I'm going up to Canada. Winnipeg, Manitoba, October 10th and 11th, Rumors Comedy Club. Then I head on to Thunder Bay, which is also Canada. The Paramount Theater in Ontario, but not Ontario, California. Ontario, the province that's in Canada. So Paramount Theater, Thunder Bay in Ontario. October 12th. Then October 15th, going back to New York, baby. If you saw me in New York last week at the stand, I did my first hour. So if you come to see me October 15th at the stand in New York, I'm doing 100% different material.
Wow.
70 minutes of completely different material than what you just saw last week. So get tickets again. You might say, I just saw you. Come again. You'll hear different jokes. Then I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, Naples, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia in the end of October. Right before Halloween, Comedy and Magic Club, Hermosa Beach, October 30th. And then the rest of these you can look up. But November 6th and 8th, the Comedy Works in Denver. That's a big one. That'll be very fun. I'm super excited to come back. Be doing different shows on the early show than I am the late show. So if you've whatever, you can buy tickets to both and you'll hear 2 different hours. But anyways, that's all that. Trying to think what else we want to talk about. I don't know. I listened to Rainn Wilson this week on
Spade?
Yeah, that was pretty funny, right?
I just saw the one clip and Spade was so funny in it. He was like, Rainn Wilson was like crying that like
that the headlines are being misleading
yeah.
to him.
And Spade was just like, it sounds like you still hate the show.
Yeah, and he goes, the headline for this is going to be Rainn Wilson still hates The Office. So good. Here's the thing about Rainn Wilson that if he ever hears this or if this reel goes viral or something, Rainn might hear it. Rainn Wilson, your epiphany that you're having about how headlines and tabloids and the way things run and go viral and can really, get carried away about something out of context is a great way to maybe how you should view society. The way you talk about Trump, the way that I've heard you talk about conservatives or white privilege or any of these subjects is the exact thing you're a victim of. You're complaining about like how like I said this and there's more nuance to this and this is really complicated and then the headline is just this and then people run with it. Right.
Nope,
yeah, that's what's
racist.
going on on CNN and Fox News and all these things. That's the current culture of these things. Rainn, you're a victim of the exact thing that you've perpetuated. So all this, bullshit that's going around in these tabloids and stuff like that, like that's the problem is that this whole make it as politically tumultuous as you can so everyone clicks on it and shares it. Like, wake up, dude. Like, you've done it. You've done it yourself.
Now stare into the camera like Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
Make it awkward. Yeah. That's
pretty
exact.
Good. Pretty good. What I was going to say, too, is like I'm so tired of hearing, you couldn't do that today. Couldn't make The Office today.
Why not?
I couldn't do Seinfeld now. It's on every fucking channel still. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's like I think that Brent kid that I just referenced on the thing, I think he's got a joke like similar to that where it's like, what do you mean you couldn't do it now? That like it's everywhere. Like this things they keep acting like we're so much more different now that these things you're like what do you I don't understand. You could do any of that stuff now.
It's probably a good idea if you start doing stuff like that now.
Yeah.
All these studios are losing money.
Right. And also like The Office was not edgy. It was great and smart and funny and 10 other adjectives that you could explain about how great it was.
They played it in the hospital waiting room.
It was hardly
Yeah.
You weren't some edgelord back then. Like that was not the fact that Michael Scott was so stupid that he would often say racially ignorant or homosexually ignorant things isn't too edgy. That character is just a guy who lives in Scranton, Pennsylvania and doesn't know about any of this stuff.
That was his charm, yeah.
Yeah. And so like, it's not like you're not some edgelord. It's like such a strange thing where they're like, you couldn't make that. Same with Blazing Saddles. I always hear people go, you couldn't make that today. Sure you could. If you grow a nutsack and actually make good comedy again, you could definitely make that. Right? Get Kevin Hart to be the black sheriff, and you get someone, I'm trying to think, Shane Gillis to be Gene Wilder's character, or like, you could make that movie. Cat Williams, they go, the N-word's in it. Okay, the N-word's everywhere. Do you not have the internet? It's everywhere. Go to get Xbox Live. Tell me people don't know about the N-word. Do you have no idea how hip-hop works? They say the N-word a lot. I was at the Comedy Store last night. 9 million comics saying the N-word, including Hard R. Sam Tripoli's saying the N-word. Like, what are we acting like? You couldn't do that now. Not now. What do you mean not now? We're doing it. It's happening. It's all around you, so shut up. Yeah, so I thought that was strange to listen to Rainn Wilson talk like that. But hopefully he wakes up a little bit. You know, I think that he said some things that really wound me up as far as like the way he seemed a little out of touch. But I think by doing these podcasts and maybe being a victim of this latest stuff that like he'll kind of come around. You know, it's easy to be in your mansion with Bryan Cranston and talking about white privilege and, you know, you're the beneficiaries of it by your own theory while scoffing at other white people for not groveling. Like, I don't understand what his... I just hope they wake up a little bit. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. This has been so good. This podcast is so therapeutic for me. I love to be able to get up here or get on here and just rant and talk. And if you want to send something to where I podcast, no, I'm not giving you the address. I'm tired of these poison-filled cookies, and I'm afraid someone's gonna shoot me. Don't worry about where I'm at. I love you guys. Subscribe. Actually, if you want to know where I'm at, it's Spotify, it's Apple, it's YouTube. Subscribe, rate, review, share. I love you guys so much. We'll see you next week.